And we're live. Oh my goodness, I'm very sorry to keep you guys waiting. I had to run home. I just returned from a family event. I only just got home, and I'm horribly sorry for the delay. But I'm also Robert Ionescu, your lead commentator, and I'm here alongside a mystery commentator for the first ever round of GP4 OC Formula 2. We're replacing GP2, and we're moving into a brand new era. Please tell me if you can hear me okay, Flo. And Mr. Mystery Commentator, tell me if you can hear me all right. Message in the chat.
Yes,
All
can
right.
hear you okay.
All right. Very well then. And I think you just heard the Mystery Commentator's voice. It is a new era, and to commemorate it for the film, but I'm gonna say I'm P5 in the Formula 8 Championship, and this guy is P6 today. Making his commentary debut, joining me is Leighton Aviard. So hello there, Leighton. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm looking forward to the first ever F2 race, moving on to a new era from GP2. Baku, obviously the first round. Going to be a very entertaining race. Looking forward to it.
Yeah. We've waited quite a long time, not just for me to show up here, but also for the season to start, and we're just about ready to get Zeri capital in the Land of Fire, as it's so called. And as per tradition, we will do 4x4 later. So I'm going to do the first 4, then you do the next 4, and so on. So then, here we go. It is Agatino Pivoda, the reigning Formula E champion, on his Formula 2 debut, on his debut of the feeder series, on pole position. He takes the 4 bonus points just for Exuto on his first front row is Bruno last season. Blackwood, the man who finished 5th, if I'm not mistaken, the final season of BTCC is 3rd, and Blake Moore on his debut for Carlin is P4 on the grid. Leighton, it's your turn. You do 4.
Russell in P5 for MP Motorsport. Then we have Gabriel Quintino for Univertosi, and Benz in P7 behind his teammate. Then we have Aaron Curtis for Trident in P8.
Yep, that's right. Afterwards, we got Alexander Arnold in the Cherus P9, no relation to Trent, with Flamengo and P10 on his first race for Prema. And Watts is in P11 with Hector Cerdobe in P12 in Carlin. You do the next 4.
Then we have in P13 we have Donatus in for the high tech team, followed by for Dams, followed by Dennis Graff for Campos and Samet Ozkan for high tech.
Yep, Luca Farina, the man who won the first race last season, is at P17. Alongside him is Adam Chobot, the man who finished 5th in the championship. Behind him is his Venomous for Racing teammate Daniel Darabosch, and joining him on penultimate row is Gabriel Rico. And the last 2 on today's grid are
Rose Henson for Trident and Tobias Kress for MP Motorsport.
Yep, thank you, Lane, for helping me read the grid. And the answer to that is it is going to be dry. There's a small chance of rain, but that is after the end of the race. We're not going to have to worry about that. So enjoy clear skies in Azerbaijan by the Caspian Sea, dry weather, and 31 laps for the first time of Formula 2 action. It is. Let me try to get a quick fix. Right. I hope this works better, because if it doesn't, I'll be rather aggravated by equipment. But nevertheless, this should be a very entertaining race. And what do you think of the circuit real quick, Late, before we get going?
Baku is known for its twisty corners, especially the castle section. That is always one that catches people out. We've seen it in real life, and I'm sure we can maybe see it tonight. But Baku, 20 corners, a lot of right-hand turn, 90 degrees corners, lots of overtaking spots. Obviously, you got the main straight and then the second straight and going down into turn 15 if you're feeling bold. Perhaps stick a wheel down the inside, but I'm sure with the slipstream and the long straights, this race will be very entertaining.
Absolutely, we predict the overcut will be a stronger strategy call, but enough of a strategy for now. It's time to get going for the first race of a brand new era. GP2 has had a very strong finish, now it's time for F2 to take its place, as we're waiting for the 5 red lights to go out, and when they go off, we are going to be racing for the first time in 2021. It's a good start for Gatino Bivona. Suta seems to be bogging down a little bit. I think he might be losing second around the outside, but getting bounced back into third while. He's gotta go for it, you know. But Bivona just about holds on. Suto stays in second for now as there's been a big crash at the back. We can already see Watson. He's lost his wheel. He's out of the race. Tries to keep going, but he can't in that condition. And there's Alexander Arnold involved in the mix as well. 2 cars already out at the first corner as Bivona leads with Jafari Blackwood trying to go for an overtake into turn 3. Can he get down around the outside? Yes, he can. Up to second place goes the Jamaican driver. As Milo Haminguyen is battling and for P9 there. Free wide here moment. We got VAR going down the inside of the damaged car Henry Watzel. As Bivona leads, Kress has damage. Arnold is obviously out, but we need to take a look at what happened, Lane. So let's see. Arnold got off the line well. And did he trigger this collision, or was he just an innocent passenger? It looks like it was hit from behind. By Watzel, or was it by somebody else? It looks like it was Watzel there, Lane.
Yeah, feel sorry for Arnold there. Just gets looked like he wanted to take it cautious into turn 1, and then Watzel just brakes too late and just goes straight into the back of him. But now the ART driver has to go a full lap without a front wing, so that is very unfortunate there for Watzel, but
yeah,
lucky
indeed.
for Arnold there.
By the way, Lane, let me teach you real quick about dev panel. So at the top of the screen, you can see the F and then 13.5, or the number there. That's the laps of fuel we got left. And then there's also an indicator that says pit. It will flash yellow when the driver is going to come in at the end of this lap, and it'll flash red when his teammate is coming in. So that's the gist of the dev panel. As Bivona extends his advantage from Blackwood, it's 1.8 seconds, but we know it can be closed down. This race is far from over. It's only just begun.
30 long laps of the Baku City street circuit. Anything can happen.
Indeed, Bivona looks like he is eking out his advantages up to 2 seconds from Jafari Blackwood, but don't forget, Bivona has 13 laps of fuel. He's fueled quite light. Blackwood, I think, has got 19, so he'll get a 6-lap overcut, which might not sound like a lot, but trust me, it is a lot. So it'll be up to Bivona to maximize this first stint and get a gap so big it can't be overcut. That'll be his goal. As we enter lap 2 of this race, Bivona obviously getting the early fastest lap. As Blackwood is up to second, looks like we gotta move further back. Curtis is being overtaken by Hento Tsunome. The Japanese driver is going for the move, but Curtis is trying to fight back, but wasn't nowhere near close enough to make it on the brakes. Meanwhile, Oscar puts a move on Feng Chen of China. He's got past him, as Farina, meanwhile, is under a bit of pressure. He's been overtaken by Rose Henson, I think that was, as Gabriel Rico is trying to fight from behind these guys. Henson's had a great start. She's climbed up 6 places. Great start from the American driver there. No, 5 places. I'm sorry, she's starting 21st if I'm not mistaken. Meanwhile, here we have Dennis Graf in P11 as Henson is defending the inside. So is Dadabosch against Kress. Kress stays behind. Here we have Watzel coming in, and he had a solid season last time out, but he's already starting on the back foot. As for Alexander Arnold, his start of the season didn't even last a corner.
Yeah, he didn't get to just make that famous corner into turn 1, and turn 1 always proves havoc, and it clearly has. But Bivona, with the lighter fuel, is clearly pulling away from P2, and it looks like that lighter fuel is seriously helping him out, because he's just extending the gap. But you know, with the extra fuel that P2 has, anything can happen.
Looks like Blackwood's under a lot of pressure himself. Here goes just Ferguson to turn 16. Not quite close enough to make it work. You need to be real bold if you want to send it down there. But it's very disadvantageous. If you get past into turn 16, you're just exposing yourself to be overtaken on the long back straight. Suto ended up staying behind, and now he's gonna attack. He was passed by Blackwood at the start, but can he get him back? Let's see. Can he get the overspeed on him as they go side by side onto the long straight? We got yellow at turn 15 it is. Not just at turn 16 as Darabosh Daniel. He is out this race with a brake problem. As Suto makes the move to get him into second place, does a solid overtake. Curse, meanwhile, gets back at Sonome. He's taking 8 from him. Nguyen is attacking Graf as here goes Chow China diving down the inside of Oscar and we're overtaking the Swede. And we need to take a look at what happened to Darbosh. I do believe it was a brake failure, as Leighton has just muted himself. He'll be back shortly. He'll be back in 2 or 3 minutes. But yeah, I'll take a look at what happened to Darbosh. He was running in P19, trying to get close to cars in front of him. And there you go. On the run towards turn 15, the brakes problem just emerged, and he somehow was able to get it stopped in time here. But once to turn 16, it was clearly terminal. He couldn't carry on. That was Cressor taking him, and Darabosh, lucky he was able to get it stopped to begin with, using the drag of the car to slow it down. He found a safe place to park it, went underneath the grandstands and crashed into the steel beams, as Bavona sets another fastest lap 1 in 49.2. I still believe that's faster than last year's pole time, but nevertheless, Bavona is on a roll right now, but I wonder can just Frick to hunt him down. That'll be an interesting question, and Flo, until they fill in. If you want to. And Flo, by the way, wasn't round 2 a voted track, or am I mistaken? Alright, well, go and check the calendar real quick if you don't mind. As Bavona has increased his advantage thanks to Stun Blackwood battling, it's now up 3.9 seconds, actually 3.8. It is Hockenheim, alright, yeah. So I think round 3 will be the voted track, but nevertheless, let's see what pace Agatino Bavona has in his personal best. But what about just Frank Suto, who is lost 2/10 in the middle sector there? So Bavona still holding an edge in pace. Suto might when we get later in the race. Meanwhile, Loscan and Chow China at round 3 of their battle. As Chow China defends the inside turn 16. There was no threat, but nevertheless, out from side Loscan through the flat out left and right hand kinks. He is gonna go for it. Bavona with another fastest lap. He's just flying out there on track right now. And he's Simon Loscan. Towards the first corner. Can he get the job done? Because of the late breakers, I'm certain. But who's it gonna be? What's gonna have to send it for Chuck? And Oskan has taken the place. Up to 13th goes the Swedish driver. Next target for him is Jonas Martins. Kotsiuk. The married twice, and now it will be saddened that Hungary isn't on the calendar. He'll be trying to liven his mood up by getting past Blackwood for 3rd. I think he'll be trying that. There's Rose Hansen. She's trying to go for a move on Chow China. Wasn't solid enough the opportunity to go for the move around the outside of turn. Close the door, and Hansen didn't have much space to go for the move. She was being judicious about it. As he's Chow China here, he's trying to defend for dear life. As so is Jafari Blackwood. He's got Protzik all over the back of him, and if he's not careful, he might just about have a train forming up his gearbox. On his gearbox, I should have said. Nevertheless, Jafari Blackwood may have 16 laps of fuel, but it appears that he's just struggling for pace a little bit. But I wonder, what is Protzik's fuel like? We're going down the hill towards the run to turn 16. Braking zone of this track. The last acceleration zone in. It's flat out to the line. And yeah, Blackwood struggling massively. He's lost 4/10 to just Suto in the last sector alone. Something else, because here comes from some project using that. And let's see if he can get the job done. Which way is he gonna go? He's gonna go to the left, and he's gonna have to stand in under braking to get the job done for 3rd. He's already alongside and ahead. Why, yes, he can. Rustam Protsik up to the podium place there. Here goes Blake Moore. Side by side with Gabriel Contino. He's going to turn 1, but Moore is under pressure still. Contino tried to come back and turn 2, but wasn't close enough. Here goes Hans with another try. This time she's got past Chow China. That driver losing another place is Gabriel Rico. Makes a move on Luca Farina. Gabriel Quintino, meanwhile, the other Brazilian Gabriel, is going for the move on Blake Moore, but didn't have enough grip to go around the outside of turn 3. It's a very bold overtaking opportunity, but if you can make it work, it can definitely work. But you can also crash, as we saw last season. Chris, meanwhile, avoids Farina there, and welcome back, Lane.
Thank you.
So then,
Bonus
Blake Moore
will
is up
lead
to
the way.
P5. Yeah, and Ruslan Protsiuk is happy to podium places. Protsiuk, of course, was one of the championship contenders all the way down to the last race. He ended up finishing third in the championship last season. Do you think he could be a contender this time around, the Russian driver?
Perhaps.
Also, a reminder that after the race, we will play the national anthem and vote amongst ourselves, me, you, and Flo, for driver of the day. As Blackwood has a little lockup in turn 15, keeps it out of the wall though. He didn't lose too much time there. As next one to pressure him will be Blake Moore. These two guys have done their fair share of battling in BTCC, and they've stepped up Formula 2 together. Jafari Blackwood currently in P4. And by the way, I'm sure you already knew this, but if you didn't know, if a Russian driver wins, the anthem will not be played. You have Jonatas Martins, who is not a Russian driver anymore, because we had a little bug in which he had the Russian flag in the first preseason test. Even though he's Brazilian, he is under pressure from his high-tech teammate Samer Ozkan, who is gaining in the slipstream, but won't be close enough to make the move into 1. Maybe I might have a shot into 3. Farina, in the meantime, is side by side with Gabriel Rico, and I love that Rico's 4-letter abbreviation is his entire name. As here goes Farina, he gained a lot with the slipstream, went to the right. That is very bold. Usually you don't see a lot of overtakes that way, but Luca Farina's made it work, and this is why Gabriel Rico tried to pass out Chobot through the flat-out kicks, but it was never going to work. And Luca Farina pounced on that opportunity and took himself an ISP 17 there. Meanwhile, here we have a VAR battle. Oskan is gaining in the slipstream of Jonas Martins. Which way is he gonna go? He's going to go to the left. This is extremely bold. Can he get the job done on the brakes? Careful, boys, your teammates. And Samet Oskan, has he gone past Jonas Martins? Yes, he has. Of them keeping out of the wall, but Martins will have the inside for turn 4. This fight isn't over yet, and now it's over. Great move for Samet Oskan. He's up in 12th place. Meanwhile, just Frank Suto has kept the gap consistent. It's 4 seconds to Katerina Bivoda, just as it was before, Lane.
Yeah, one thing I can say is the Italian driver, Rina, has the Sebastian Vettel kind of helmet. Just wanted to point that out. Very nice looking helmet.
Oh, he's not the only one. We actually got a lot of drivers with Sebastian Vettel helmets. I think Rose Hansen was one of them as well, as was Daniel Darabush, though we're not going to get to look at Darabush's helmet,
nice.
Of course, because he is out of the race. I believe Alexander Arnold, who is also out, had Sebastian Vettel helmet, so Sebastian Vettel had a lot of helmets, and he had a lot of people having his helmets. And anyway, here is Blake Moore. Had a good run. The traction out of turn 16 is closing on Jafari Blackwood. Is he going to be close enough to put a move on his former BTCC, on his former fellow BTCC racer? Let's see, is he close enough to a Jamaican to go for it? I heavily doubt it. Not even the bravest of Sands, Daniel Ricciardo, will be enough to get the job done. He might be pacing himself and trying to go for it into turn 3 as Blackwood goes defensive into 1. Look how much time he's lost on exit there.
Yeah, Javari seems to be struggling here with the extra fuel, and
here goes Rose Henson. She's attacking Martins. She's got past Martins. First try. Jonas Martins is struggling for grip a little bit right now as Rico has been overtaken by Kress. And yeah, that's that there. And Jafari Blackwood holds down to P4. He's defended place from Blake Moore as Ben Fallinger is battling his former teammate and reigning champion Aaron Curtis. Here goes Xiao Chinat trying to overtake Jonas Martins, but it's just not close enough. Gabriel Rico might be. He's going to go for the outside to be as Kress here. But Kress shut the door there. Meanwhile, the gap between the leaders appears to be very much the same. Bivona is still leading by 4 seconds per 1 for just Rick Suto. But don't forget, they are on different strategies. So Bivona can't increase the gap. This will help Suto in the long run. As for Gaetano Bivona, let me talk to you a little bit about both these guys. Gaetano Bivona, he did a season BTCC 2018. wasn't too special. In 2019, he did absolutely nothing. He wasn't in any tier, but he got himself in Formula E for 2020. He was my teammate, as a matter of fact. And to my chagrin, he absolutely dominated this season, winning 6 races and taking the title by by an absolutely immense margin. And yeah, he dominated that season. Now he's in F2. He's trying his best to win it as well, I guess. But let's talk about his rival in this race, just Prix. These guys had a little run-in qualifying where they impeded each other, but now I think they will be battling later on in this race. Just for he came from BTCC after 2019. In 2020, he joined. Where did he join? He joined Ferruz, yeah, and he actually won at Portimao. He got front row at Bruno, but apart from that, he didn't have the best season. As Curtis has overtaken has stayed in front of Wallinger, I should have said. The Hungarian driver will be trying to pressure him hard, as Chap Chinat is battling with Martins in front of him. Chabot, meanwhile, is being overtaken by Farina, goes up into P16. Alright then. So then, Lane, what's your predictions for this race? Now that you've seen what their pace is like for everybody a little bit.
I'm gonna go bold. I'm gonna say Bivona either has a failure or not to crash out. And I think Jafari Blackwood's gonna win the race.
Well, if something
My
does
prediction.
happen to Bivona, he will know who to curse at, right? Anyway, I hope nothing bad happens to anybody, but if something bad happens, let's hope it wasn't due to commentator's curse. As here of Gabriel Rico trying to send into turn 7, that was incredibly bold. The curb is placed further to the left than in real life, so the corner is much tighter than it is in real life here on this game. As the leaders appear to be evenly matched, Lawrence just gained a few hundreds, but Ruslan Protsiuk is also trying to keep up. He appears to be evenly matched with them as well. 4.1 between P1 and P2, 4.1 between P2 and P3. Meanwhile, P4 is under attack. Jafari Blackwood has held off Blake Moore for about 2 laps or so, but that could come to an end right now. Here goes Moore the slipstream lane.
Moore goes to the left, Jafari to the left, to the right, and it looks like Blake Moore is just gonna slide past Jafari, and now Jafari drops to P5, and Blake Moore moves up.
But he's trying to fight back here, look. Is he gonna send into turn 1?
He is.
He definitely tried, but Moore just about holds on. He's taking that place.
Meanwhile, on the outside.
So Nome has overtaken Men's Wallinger there. He might have lost time trying to overtake Prix, and that didn't work. But Loskan is up at P11. As Blackwood has re-overtaken Moore. What's happened to him? Has he gone deep somewhere? Been in turn 2 or something like that, or 1.
Oh, he has a failure.
It's an edit for Moore, my goodness. So he held off to the place for just a little bit, but a mechanical problem kicking in at the worst time. No engine smoke just yet, but what a shame for Blake. Ooh, he almost crashes there. Gabriel Quintino almost shoving him into the wall.
He just made a little bit of contact, but not too much to cause damage to Jafari.
Yeah, and that's gonna be a shame for Blake Moore. He was on a lot of fuel chase on for the podium places. It's only a matter of time when smoke will come out. Aaron Curtis is trying to pass him. Ooh, now Blake Moore is slowing down here. Curtis, has he gone through? I think he's gone through. Next up will be Hento Sinoma and Ben Wallinger. And where are they going to make the move? Ooh, and here we got the fire spontaneously there in towards turn 7. Please don't tell me he stops in the castle section. That would be horrible. As Blake Moore will now be overtaken by Dennis Graf. And here goes Oskan. And his Oskan's running to the back of him. And somehow get it out the barriers there at the castle section.
He's continuing with a failure.
Into turn 12, Oskan tries to go for the move, and there's zero visibility as through goes Hansen. She's very bold there, as is Martins. Going through. Moore is finally going to come to a halt here. On the outside, though. Ooh, very close to contact there with Adam Chobot. Here go Kress and Rico, and that was a brilliant move for Rico. Thankfully, for his sake, yellow flags weren't out yet. He would have definitely gotten a penalty if there were yellows, but there weren't. And look at that. You need some absolute courage to do that. And Blake Moore is out of the race. What a shame. He had just taken P4 of Jafari Blackwood. He could have fought for the podium, but we're never going to know. He's at the third retirement of the day and the second mechanical one. Blake Moore is out. And what a shame. This was a debut with a lot of potential.
Definitely after getting past Jafari, it looked like he could have potentially chased down Suto, and If Lady Luck was on his side, he could have chased down P1. But
Look at this, we got a free
unfortunately,
wide moment. You have Rose Hansen trying on the attack on Haman Nguyen. And has she gone past him? She's gone past him, yes. And next target for her is Jonatas Martins. And my gosh, that move from Gabriel Rico down on the downhill section was incredibly brave. But Min was impeded massively. And look at this, actually, Martins overtook both of them. We only just got to see it now, but what an incredibly smart move by Jonatas Martins, get past both of them, and then to hold on to the position after Rose Hansen tried to counterattack. Take a bow, Jonatas Martins, that was a brilliant move.
the slipstream really coming into play there to help Martins get past.
There was another move as Farina made his way past Joe China into to the braking zone of turn 1. The Thai driver who won the 2019 Indy 500 just turned P15. As a result of Brake Moore's retirement, it has promoted Gabriel Quintino into 5th place. Agostino Vivona still leads by 4.4 seconds from just Ferry Soto. As here we have Hansen trying to go for the move on Martins into 3. Nice and easy, she's got him. And Martins is still under pressure. As here goes Haman Nguyen. Ooh, there was a little bit of a lockup for Martins there. I think we saw some tires more being kicked up into the air. But Martins has lost that position. He's down to 12th place. But look at his tank there on the death panel at the top. 11 laps still. He's definitely going long in this race. And compared to Hansen, I wonder what fuel she's got. But Jonas Martins is trying to get points, not necessarily on pure pace, but mainly on strategy. We've got some people who are going to pit really soon. 3.8, but usually lane people don't pit when they got 1 lap of fuel left in tank. They might pit earlier. So it's very, very likely we'll see the first scheduled stop of the day from Agostino Bivona within the next lap or 2. Let's see.
I would predict lap 11 for Bivona.
When he crosses the line, if he's going to come into the pits, the pit indicator on the dev panel will shine bright yellow. Is he coming in? Not yet. He'll stay out 1 more lap. That's just Fergus Soto is 4.7 down. Bivona trying his best to extend the lead. Meanwhile, Ruslan Project is improving on his lap. Not really, no. He misses out on improving by 400 of a second, but he is pushing hard as well. And Curtis, the reigning champion and last year's back pole sitter, is in P6. As here comes Luca Farina attacking Juan Nguyen for P13. Let's see if he can get the job done. Last year's winner in Nürburgring. Where else did he win? I forgot what his other win was. Wasn't it Silverstone? No, it wasn't Silverstone, was it? Nevertheless, Gabriel Rico makes the move, and Luca Farina is still having to wait behind Juan Nguyen. As meanwhile, Dennis Graf is attacking Benz Wallinger. Someone else can end up with P10. We'll see if he can hold off Rose Hansen behind. She is charging after him, so I'm not sure how long Oscar will be able to resist. But he is a good driver. I think he might give it his best shot. Meanwhile, Nguyen is actually getting close to Martins, the slipstream from the Brazilian. I think has helped him stay in front of Farina.
Yeah, I think with the slipstream, it definitely does seem to help.
At the bottom there, Rico has overtaken Chobot, unseen by the cameras. We are going to take a replay or not, I'm not sure. But who knows really? As Chobot is down to P17. It looks like it was in towards turn 1. Yeah, nice and easy there for Gabriel Rico, no complaints. Of course, Gabriel Rico moved from DTM last season, where his season wasn't exactly the greatest, but he's in F2 now, and there was a lockup for Farina into turn 7. Gonna be careful at that corner. It's not as tricky as what comes here in the castle section of turn 8. You can still get turn 7 wrong. If you want any proof, you should just ask Nico Hulkenberg. Nevertheless, in towards the downhill section of 13 and 14, Farina is gaining on Haman Nguyen, but it's very, very difficult to get the move done here. This apex is pretty tight, so you can barely squeeze 2 cars by and get it done way before in the braking zone. As Soto has closed the gap, is 4.2 down. His 4.2 is down from 4.6 as it was earlier. It was 4.1 just a moment ago. As now Nguyen is trying to go for the outside. And what a terrible idea that was. He's had to lift in a flat out section as Bivona has gotten the pit call. And Nguyen is under a lot of pressure as Gabriel Rico is making the move from China without any opposition at all. Meanwhile, I'm expecting Hansen to make the move on Nguyen if she's going for it. No, not Hansen, sorry, Farina. No, Farina hasn't got it. As Rico has moved himself to P15, but Agostino Bivona will be the second man to make a pit stop in this race. But unlike Henry Watzel, his stop will be scheduled. And Svallinger will also come into the pits. As just Frank Soto appears to have turned the wick up, 4.3 the gap, but he's gonna get another 6 or so laps before he pits. He's gonna get a massive overcut. I'm not sure if he'll get the lead, but it's something to keep in mind, Layden. For the second stint, Soto will have fresher tires, so he'll have. So in the first stint, Bavona had the fuel advantage, and they were even on tires. On this overcut, of course, Soto will have the fuel advantage, and the last stint, he will have the tire advantage to chase down Agostino Bavona. I think we got a fight, except for the remainder of this race there, mate. What do you think? Are you still there, mate? As we're waiting for Bavona to make his way into the pit lane entry, and the pole sitter and race leader is coming in for a stop. First scheduled stop of the day, and let's see what the Prema mechanics have for him. Prema have done really well here in the passive course, as Pierce Lane has left. He's trying to rejoin, I presume. But yeah, he's back. Welcome back, Lane. If you can hear us, let us know. Maybe there's an issue with your mic or something. But try to get fixed. Or as Bavona. Alright, I just got a message. I looked at a message from Joe earlier. So round 2 is Baku, round 3 Portimao, round 4 Spain, and round 5 is the voted track. My mistake. Anyway, Agostino Bavona is going to rejoin in traffic. He joins right between Oskin and Hansen, and I think Hansen is going to try to attack our championship leader. Of course, he only get points after taking those 4 points for pole. But here goes Rose Hansen. She's trying to go for the outside of Agostino Bavona here. Into turn 3, can Bavona hold on? Yes, he can. That was a bold attack. Lane, can you hear us?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
There we go.
Adam Chobot is also exiting the pit lane. But I gotta say, Bavona is lucky he didn't get dropped by Hansen. As looks like, yeah, confirmation there. Oh, there's actually been a crash! Martins in the wall at turn 6. And what on earth has happened to him? Who did he collide with? Nuts Martins is out of this race. Don't tell me he ran to the back of Bavona.
It did look like a red car, I must say.
I think it was Valdinger actually. He's down P17. As in Gwen has damage as well. Rico's got damage too.
Here we go, we're going to see a replay of it, so...
Oh no, Valdinger had pitted, my mistake. Let's see what happened here. So into turn 5, nothing out of the ordinary, but into turn 6 he just understeered and slammed into the wall. There was nothing Gwen could do, just passenger down, he couldn't avoid the debris.
I knew it was a Prima, I just didn't know which one.
Yeah, unfortunately for Hammond Gwen, his Prima debut won't be that joyful for now. There was absolutely nothing he could do to avoid there. And Gabriel Rico is having such a brilliant fight for the field. He's lost his entire front nose. Rico Farina lucky to avoid damage there. As Tobias Kress, he had a pit indicator, but that's because he was already coming to the pit. And look at that, he had to pass Rico on the entrance to the castle section.
That is such a shame. So that little incident by Martins has caused a 3-4 car issue. So not very good there, but a very weird mistake to go off at that corner, I must say.
We've seen it before, as he's just been removed from the racing line. But if you for you in the chat, if you remember, Chris Chatfield crashed there in 2018, and that very corner. So Unitas Martins have now made the same mistake, as Dennis Graff is coming into the pits. Meanwhile, Tobias Kress is attacking Chow Chinat, but don't attack him too hard because he got damage to the pits, Tobias. Let's see what's gonna happen here. I pray there won't be any contact on pit entry. Well, let's see what's going to happen. Chow Chinat is not coming in, Kress is coming in, so all nice and clean. Meanwhile, Bavona Pitting has released just for Soto and Ruslan Bratsuk to absolutely go on the attack.
And there we go, 21 laps of fuel, so I would imagine that is to the end. So
yeah, it'll be plenty.
Crest. Yeah, so only a 1 stop here today. Hopefully people don't have to make the 2 stop. But you know,
yeah, we don't get 2 stops in F2. Usually it's only the top class and DDM that have the 2-stop strategy as an option. And of course also World Champ Car, but 2 stops are mandatory over there. As Famingun is being serviced, 9.7 stop from the Prima crew. As Gabriel Rico is also being serviced, going through the black wall there. He's actually still having to wait.
For a car or?
No. The Campos mechanics, they're already servicing his teammate earlier, I think, so that's why.
Oh, that is a shame. They've
Indeed.
just gone from bad to worse. Um,
Well, yeah, so it doesn't get stuck. Prompt you break. Let us know, guys. How you doing? You having a good time? And back a little bit on some things as we wait for the race to get back underway. Yeah, don't worry about it.
before we get into it, the background track. What circuit is that?
Of course, obviously, Baku is not on the original Grand Prix 4. It couldn't have been. It's a background. You gotta use one of the tracks that is on the game. Still, though, hopefully Rico will be able to get serviced and get out of the garage this time around.
Hopefully.
But Lane, now that we get a little bit of a breather, what do you think of the race so far?
Very entertaining race, I must say. Very crashes and some mistakes, but the main overtaking spot seems to be the long back straight to the finish line. So that is very entertaining, and it does seem like we are back. And Graf,
We
who
are back.
is going into the pits
Stop.
again. So it looks like, yeah.
Usually when we restart, the CD is the exact same, so I'm not gonna have any sort of issues.
So there we go, Graf. Dennis Graf goes into the pit lane and he will go to the end, pitting from P9. So we'll see where he comes out. But Suto does seem to be
That's why
going in
Gabriel
very...
Rico's mechanics were waiting because Graf, his teammate, had just come in, so the mechanics stayed there.
Oh, that is a shame. Oh,
Chachinin
very
is just
lucky.
locked up and kept it out of the wall. My goodness me, very big for the former Indy 500 winner.
Just locking up both front tyres and luckily just escaping the wall. So they will be
He was
very
able to
lucky
get stopped
there.
in time and turn out harm's way, but he's lost a heap of time there. As in goes Harman Nguyen, they want to come into the pits for a front wing and for a nose, but I'm afraid that's just the way things are for him today. Not a good day for him, I'm afraid. But for his teammate, Agostino Bavona, he could take the win. Very long stop for Gabriel Rico, but a lot short than what Bottas had in Monaco not too long ago. Nevertheless, Rico will be back onto the racetrack, but this is a race to forget, his F2 debut. As here I have Ben Wallinger, who's already made the stop, will be going to the end of the race, as Aaron Curtis will come in, just Felix Suto will be waiting. They say 3 more laps as we got a very brave Marshall running there on the track.
So about lap 16, lap 17. So the tyre difference will be quite big. So maybe Suto could gain the extra pace on
Bavona.
Ivona and then take the race win, perhaps.
Could be a
Close.
possibility, yes. Chobot has taken a position from Kras, but don't forget, Suto is keeping out there thereabouts with Bavona when Bavona had a fuel advantage. Now, when we get in the race, Suto will have a tire advantage and he'll be level on fuel as Aaron Curtis, the reigning champion, has come into the pits. Currently close on fuel with 1.4 laps left, or 20 laps in his wagon. Won't have any issues, he'll go to the end no problem.
Only 16 laps remaining of the Baku City Street Circuit of the first ever round of F2 with the new era, and goes to show how entertaining it is at the moment.
Yep, indeed, these OCF2 cars are quite fun to drive, I must say, as thanks to these guys pitting, a lot of people have moved up a place. On the table there at the bottom you can see all those green arrows pointing to the left, as Bavona looks like he's being majorly impeded by someone else here. Of course, Bavona has pitted, Oskan's still yet to pit, but Oskan is fueled much lighter given that he hasn't pitted yet. Bavona may have the fresher tires, We can't do anything with him. We can't get past this guy and get track position.
And one driver that will be happy at the moment is Suto, especially if Ozkan is holding up Bivona. So this could help Suto when he comes out the pit lane, depending on when he pits. So as long as Ozkan is holding up Bivona, this could help out Suto a lot later on in the race.
Yeah, absolutely. But I also need to check when Ozkan is pitting actually. As Bivona, is he going to be trying something to turn 16, or you think better of it? He thinks better of it, just wants to set up on the straight. Looks like Ozkan is coming in this lap either way, so that'll be the end of Bivona's traffic woes. And he's gonna go to the right and cost himself a bunch of time. Why did you do that? Nevertheless,
either way with Ozkan pitting this lap, with holding him up through Sector 1 and Sector 2, it's already helped out Suto a lot. So
yeah, indeed.
Pending.
Yep, absolutely. Even Prix might be able to gain from this quite substantially. As Samuel Ozkan rounds off his first stint in Formula 2 with a pit stop. Let's see if he can fight for points in second stint there. As between the leaders, the provisional leaders of Suto and Protsiuk got 5.8 second gap. As in goes Ozkan, 19 laps of fuel. Good job for the BMW Williams mechanics, 6.7 second stop. I think that was the quickest so far today. And where will Samuel Ozkan emerge? I think he'll be there about close to Dennis Graf and Ben Wallinger. He is behind Graf. Will he be in front of Wallinger? Yes, he will, just about. You can see Wallinger coming back there, look. But Ozkan's cleared them.
Yeah, so Ozkan will be chasing down Dennis Graf now for P11, and Waldinger will be looking to chase down Samet Ozkan as well now. So Bivona is in clear air now and will be chasing down the front guys that have not yet to pit. So this could be very close, and this will be a crucial laps for
absolutely
Bivona.
Right. Meanwhile, Gabriel Quintino is chasing right now Jafari Blackwood, and he's going to pit this lap actually. The gap is 1.2 seconds, and yeah, Quintino has been pushing quite hard to get close to Blackwood. Hasn't been able to get him just yet, but if he still has pace, he might get him in the second stint. So let's see, into the pits. Quintino has a Dams, right? I'm struggling to remember what car that is, if it's a Dams or something else. Nevertheless, he comes in. It's only Virtuosi, my bad. In comes Gabriel Quintino. It's not Dams, not Virtuosi. Still pit entry for Gabriel Quintino, but he's coming into the pits, the Brazilian. Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't he finish on the podium here last season? Or did he finish in the top 5 at least? I know he finished in the top 5. As it goes, Quintino still on the front left there. 8 seconds stop, pretty long.
Ooh. That was 1.3 slower than Samet Ozkan, so that is pretty slow from Quintino there for the Univertosi driver.
It's not like he's racing Ozkan, but he's racing Blackwood, and this helps Jafari Blackwood quite a lot. As we have a pit indicator red for anchor, which means his teammate Rose Hansen will be coming to the pits this lap. So Feng China in the meantime, as Bivona is up in the 5th place as a result of the pit stop earlier. Jafari Blackwood's teammate will also come in. Jafari Blackwood's Dams teammate, that being China. And yeah, Blackwood, even though his pace wasn't great, as these had a solid race, as Gabriel Rico and Juan Nguyen are in a race of their own, far away from everybody else, but they're still scrapping it out for pride, if for lack of anything else.
It's always good to finish a race because it shows team morale and it shows your sportsmanship rather than just giving up. So obviously,
yeah, you don't want to give up, and Rico is definitely not giving up. As he got him in towards turn 3, careful on the brakes here, it's so easy to overshoot, but both of them have kept it nice and clean.
Move there from Gabriel Rico there on the inside.
Yeah, absolutely. Next target for him is Henry Watzel, who pitted at the end lap 1 actually.
After the contact with Alexander Arnold into 1, which was a shame.
Yeah, but don't forget, Watzel made his stop so early, he couldn't put enough fuel to the end. So Watzel will have to switch to a 2-stop. As meanwhile, Hento Sonome is in, the Japanese driver in the Carlin, who is also the Renault test driver, hence the Renault branding on his Carlin, is into the pits. And it's ironic that the Renault test driver is getting McLaren mechanics. 7.7 second stop for him. Rose Hansen is also into the pits. What kind of stop is she gonna get? 8 seconds there. Bevona up in 4th place, of course, from Sonome pitting. Farina
And that is the
6.4, fastest
quickest.
stop of the day.
Yeah.
They have to wait a little bit. I'm not sure, but Sonome joins just in front of Dennis Graf. But Graf will have warm tires. Sonome's are still cold. We have the tire blankets, of course, so Graf might have an opportunity to attack here, though he's not close enough. If Sonome can get his tires up to temperature, they'll be able to pull away.
And it's a very lonely race for the guys at the back. Watzel is on the back of the
Watson will
damage
make his
driver
second
now.
stop. I think I just noticed, yes, just Frank Soto will make his one and only stop of the race. And if he'll jump Bavona or not, I'm not quite sure. The gap is 23 seconds. I think Bavona will still be in front, but Joseph Frank Soto will be charging. I think if he wins this race, he will thank Samadoskan, but he'll try not to need to thank Samadoskan. He'll try to win it on pace alone, and he's going to try to push like hell. This first stint was good. He kept up with Bavona. Looks like Protic is coming into the pits as well in the MP Motorsport, which means Jafari Blackwood will inherit the lead temporarily, unless he pits as well.
The Jamaican driver will take the race lead, but this will be close between Suto and Bivona.
No, Blackwood is pitting as well. Here goes Suto.
There we go.
His stop is slow, 7.9. That's going to help Bavona. He's already gone through.
The Premier driver retakes the lead after the pit stop from Suto.
Yeah, Suto is way down. Actually, 9 seconds stop for Protic, my gosh. But yeah, just for Suto is a little bit down. Even looks like the undercut was actually a little bit stronger than we anticipated. So even with the traffic, Vernon was able to build a strong lead. However, now comes the difficult part because just for Suto will be chasing hard after him. Meanwhile, Gabriel Quintino has failed to jump Jafari Blackwood in the pits.
Here we go, the
He's going to get another opportunity to get him right here on track. Let's see. Can he get him now before Blackwood gets his tires up to temperature?
Into turn 3.
He's going to go left or right. He's going to the left. He's going to be very aggressive on the brakes, but he backs out just in time because Blackwood shut the door preemptively and good defending from the dance driver.
And Watzel makes his second pit stop of the day after pitting on lap 1 and could not make it to the end. So
16 laps of fuel in his wagon. And how long was stop? 6.1, quickly a day. Watsel's just staying in this race to get our date, I guess. The gap, meanwhile, between leaders is 6.9. So even with the traffic, Bavona was able to gain about 3 seconds or just for Suto. But do expect that gap to start coming down. Let's see. Suto's already made up half second in one alone. 6.5 the gap
this
is now.
Be getting close.
Yeah, we're gonna get 12 laps to go. And Bavona is going to need to start looking into his mirror sooner or later. He's led this race superbly for now, but you can see in the background there, one hungry Slovakian driver will be chasing him down to try to get him and get his second ever victory in this series. And of course, be the first winner of the rebranded category. As Bavona, the gap is 6.5, and it'll be very entertaining to see how it develops. Meanwhile, looks like Rose Hansen and Ben Waldinger are scrapping out for last point spot in P10. Here goes the American. Which way is she going to go? She's going to the left. And Valdigar ain't really able to shut the door. It'll be a drag race down the straight, and then a test of bravery on the brakes into turn 1. Can Hansen get the job done here? And let's see. Careful on the brakes. And Hansen has got the job. Up to points place she goes. She started from 21st. It's a very solid fight back.
And the Trident driver then moves up into the final point position.
Next target for her is Samer Oskan, 6 seconds up the road.
And I think Samer Oskan with the fresh tyres will be hard to catch. But I think the main fight that we can mainly focus on is Joseph Suto and Argentino Bivona for P1, and the gap is
it's already down to
6.1
after first sector. We're gonna get another update. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes down to the realms of 5.6, 5.7. Confirmation there that Hansen got the overtake, but let's get another look. And Valdigar lost a heap of time. He was battling with Kurz before the stops. Now he's been passed by Kurz's teammate. It says in there that Valdigar hasn't pitted yet, but I know he's pitted for a fact. I know he's pitted because he has to field go to the end. But 5.6, just as I said, so Bavona is under a lot of pressure. It was 6.5 the previous lap, so he's lost 9 tenths on this lap alone, and this lap ain't even over. Suda, of course, set a personal best lap. Maybe can go for the fastest lap too. Don't forget, fastest lap is worth 2 points.
If he's just going to push the hell out of those tyres to try and catch Bivona for P1. But who will hold on, the Prima driver or the Charo's Racing System driver?
It'll be very interesting. Don't forget, another battle on the cards is going to be a scrap for 4 between Jafari Blackwood and Gabriel Contino. Blackwood has only slightly fresher tires, but Contino has had the measure of him in terms of pace earlier in this race. So I'd say they're roughly about even.
Rob, who do you think is going to win this race? Are you going with Joseph or are you going with Bivona? Who are you going with?
I'm gonna go on an absolutely bold prediction and say Protsuk is gonna win. No. I'm just kidding.
Ooh.
I think as we're waiting for a sector split update, let's look at it. 5 seconds, he's getting 6 tenths to sector 1 alone. Joseph Frederick Suta is on fire right now, not literally, thankfully. And I think he has the time, he has the speed, he just needs to catch it and get the move done. I think he can win this race.
Got 10 laps to do it.
Yeah, indeed, as Lane just got a notification on his screen, I think. We heard it, but no worries. As Bavona breaking hard turn 15, nice and early on the throttle. And we're gonna get another check out the second split. Bavona there looking at the top right to the pound, 9 tenths down on his personal best. Which is also, as a matter of fact, the fastest lap of the race.
About 3 tenths out of Bivona now.
So that makes 9 tenths in the first 2 sectors.
So if you calculate each lap, he's gaining about a second a lap, roughly.
You don't need to be too complex with math to know he's gonna catch him for the end of this race.
If I had to predict, I'm gonna guess he's gonna catch in 4 laps time.
49.9 on the previous lap for Bavona, and for Suda it's a 49.0. That's 9 tenths confirmation there. Meanwhile, Ruslan Protsiuk is sitting lonely for now, as on the panel there on the left it says Gabriel Rico is in third, but we know that's an error. We know he's at the back, so ignore that. Ruslan Protsiuk is actually in third, and there we go, just got updated. So Protsiuk is in the correct position.
Fight between Aaron Curtis and Hento Sinonome. Sinonome does seem to be catching Curtis.
Yeah, it looks like it's the Renault and Aston Martin test drivers scrapping each other. By the way, Flo, I can catch qualifying. Who took pole in the top class?
I'm gonna check for you.
No time to check because here goes Luca Farina.
Franco Gamba.
Nice. As here goes Luca Farina, diving in turn 3 is overtaking Benz Waldinger. Waldinger, I'm not sure what's happened to his pace in the middle stint. He pitted way too early, I think, and is feeling the difficulties now. Farina into P11, and the next target for him is Rose Hansen, though she's quite far up the road, 4.4 seconds. Meanwhile, 4.2 between the leaders. We'll get another update in just a few seconds' time. 3.9, another 3 tenths gain for just for Suto gap, 4 seconds, with 9 laps to go.
Get close.
The best lap of the race, the fastest lap is 48.998. Suto might be able to beat it if he can improve his personal best. His personal best is 49.0. Can gain just a few hundreds of seconds. He will set the fastest lap, but he's not improving on it right now. Bavona is full second slower than his fastest lap. Suto just 10th slower than his personal best. Still, so 9 tenths faster than the previous lap. 3.9 gap. Fight is on.
Another fight is Sinonome and Curtis gaining 2 tenths this lap, so the battle is there's a lot of battles out on track, but the main one that we do want to see is the one for the race lead, and Suto is gaining at a rapid pace, but can Bivona hold on to that race lead?
He'll be trying it his damn hardest, I'm sure. Meanwhile, here goes Gabriel Rico, and don't forget, on the topic of Joseph Frederick Suto, he's got some experience in Formula E, of course, because in 2019, the year before Bivona won the titles, Gabriel Rico gets the move done on Chao Chinat. I was going to say Joseph Frederick Suto in Formula E. He finished second in 2019, just behind Emilio Wilson, that went to the last race. So it's the reigning Formula E champion against the former Formula E runner-up. for the win here in Formula 2, and just who's gonna take it. So just taking our half second in the first sector. He's on fire right now. And Bavona, he's on worse tires. It's just a matter of time of it's just a question of how much grit, how much determination he's gonna show in the fight to hold on to the race lead. 1.1 seconds down on his personal best, down through the middle sector. Yeah, Suto will catch him in about 3 laps time or thereabouts.
Yeah, about lap 26, I'd say.
Meanwhile, Quintino just under 2 seconds behind Blackwood, so that fight is still on. It looks like Blackwood is pulling away just a little bit. So now made just 1 second behind Curry, so we'll keep an eye on that. As Oscar has got Dennis Graf, it appears.
About teams, it's going to be an up and down celebration if Suto can win the race, because Charos have a car fighting for P1 and they have a car that unfortunately didn't even make turn 1. So the celebrations will be up and down, but I'm sure if they get a win, they will be very happy indeed.
Absolutely right. And last season, Charos picked up 3 wins, the most of any team, shared with Carlin. Unfortunately, because lack of consistency. But yeah, they had Kyle Burns winning 2 races. Kyle Burns isn't in the series anymore. Not because he was bad, but because he forgot to sign up. Can you believe it? And yeah, just first also took the win at Portimao. Yeah, Kyle Burns took some brilliant wins at the Red Bull Ring in Austria and Laguna Seca in the US, holding out for Hull Patel in a fight that ended up deciding the championship. This fight isn't for the championship, it's for positions. Gabriel Rico overtakes Tobias Press. Rico, don't forget to down. He's actually trying to get back into this race properly. Next target for him is Chobot. Another half second in the first sector there, meanwhile Layton. 2.5 the gap.
Close.
Yeah, indeed. Meanwhile, in the top 10, Hansen with the biggest gain. She's gained 11 places from her P21 starting spot. As the gap between the leaders, 2.1, another 4/10 of a second. At this rate, Bavona will have to look in his mirrors. Get to 26.
He's shaking in the cockpit. He just wants to win. But then
of course he does.
Suto's chasing you down, taking a second out of you per lap. You're going to be shaking in your seat as you're racing. So I'd say lap 26. So next lap, these two will fight it out. But Dennis Graf and Oscar are fighting for P8. Those two have been close together and gaining. There we go.
Yep, indeed. Sernome still trying merrily to gain on us. Adam Chopper is under pressure from Gabriel Rico here, and towards turn 16, Rico doesn't go for it.
Yeah, Adam Chobot and Gabriel Rico fighting for P13.
Get points today unless a miracle happens.
Here we go, Gabriel Rico.
Because had a lot of bad luck today. He's going to the left early. Even if bad luck is gonna take away points, he will show so much determination today. He's had a brilliant drive, even though circumstances didn't go his way. This position goes his way. He's up to 13th, as China makes the move on to by place.
Yeah, and there we go, Gabriel Rico. After that contact early on, after the unfortunate Martin
1.4.
Has really been gaining, and like I said, lap 26 is the lap that Suto will be on the back of Ivona.
Indeed.
These two are going to be fighting out. Hopefully there's no contact. Hopefully it's all clean racing, but you never know.
Well, I joked earlier about Protsiuk winning the race as he's under second. No DRS, of course, in these cars. DRS isn't a thing on Grand Prix 4. But if this were real life, he would have DRS. Nevertheless, he has the slipstream and he's gaining. He won't be able to attack here, but on the next lap, he's going to be all over Bivona's gearbox. I was just joking earlier about Protsiuk win the race. If these two guys were to, God forbid, crash, Protsiuk would win the race. Right now, let's enjoy a clean fight for the win. There's 6 laps to go.
This is definitely going to be entertaining. Out of and this is what we need. This is what we want. F2 is the feeder series of F1. This is what we want to see. Yep. We want to see people fighting for wins to show their pace and their true capabilities, to perhaps show the top guys that they are capable of reaching that top step. And I'm sure some of the top teams will be looking at these two drivers after today, even though it is round one. But you never know.
Absolutely right there, Lane. I can't say it any better myself. You can see in the first sector just how much more grip Stowe has with those tires. He's taking care of them much better than Bavona. Adding to the fact that they're fresher, 3 tenths down. Obviously impossible to make a move in the middle sector, but you might be able to get it done at the end of this lap. And don't forget, there are 2 points for fastest lap and 4 points for pole position. So Bavona will take, if he finishes second, he'll take 24 points. If Suro wins, he'll take 25 points. So there'll be just 1 point apart in the championship. But Suro is now winning the race just about now. Into turn 15, he's never been this close. But into turn 16, is he gonna go for it? Surely not. He's actually gonna go for it backing out then. Ooh, Bavona's locked up majorly. His exit has been compromised. Also try to bounce, or is this a strategy for Bavona? So he's gonna try to go for the inside, but he's gonna have to make way and slow down there. Yeah, his exit has been a little bit compromised. He's still got some slipstream, but I think it might be a taller to get moved on, or is it? He's gaining so much in the slipstream Argentino Bavona. Bavona moving frantically to try to keep him behind. But he's got no answer for the straight line speed of the show. It was Joseph Ferguson with 5 laps to go. Takes the lead of the race.
There we go. At the end of lap 26, like I predicted, Suto
Both of us
takes the
predicted.
race lead. The Chowrose driver.
Yeah, indeed, and it's been a brilliant fight. It reminds me of the 2015 race where Gabriel Gomez and Terevin Alteron fought to the checkered flag. Obviously, this fight is going to go to the checkered flag. But Curtis and Cernome are fighting. Cernome overtook him earlier, but Curtis is coming back at him. No, that's not. Yeah, that is Cernome. But when did Cernome overtake him, actually? I'm really curious about that. As Oskan makes a move on Graf.
These two have been, Cernome has been looking to get past Curtis, and unfortunately Curtis just holds on. And there we go.
We're going to take a look at the replay here. What on earth did he get him? 5th into turn 16, no way.
Nah. Ooh. Around the outside? No? Ooh. So the
locked up. The ring champion locked up. Cernome just said, thank you very much, I'll take the place. They're doing very much good. That Curtis just took it right back.
It looks like the reigning champion just got a little bit worried there by Cernome and just locked up on the front left, and Cernome just said thank you for the overtake, but here comes Rose. Will she go round the outside? No, she just backs off there waiting.
Hansen tried there, but Graf was able to hold the inside and keep position. Oskin's got past both of them. If Hansen wants to finish P8, he's going to need to clear Graf quickly, because otherwise Oskin is going to have free reign to pull away. And not just that, behind Hansen is also Luca Farina, pushing hard to get these guys. You know, look here up front, Cernome very close to back of Curtis, but it's impossible to pass here.
Has anyone ever taken through the castle section? Has it ever been seen?
Well, it happened, you know, when you overtook... Oh, earlier in the race, when I don't even remember who overtook the car that had an engine failure.
But like an actual overtake?
No, of course not. No. This was actually the first overtake I've seen at turn 16, and we might get another one, and Cernome is going to try to go for it. Here goes Hansen, meanwhile, attacking Dennis Graf. She can't waste time because Luca Farina is gaining. Around the outside, Cernome tries to overtake cars but doesn't have the grip. But now, he'll have a round to a straight, or will he? Because his run's getting a little bit compromised, but not too much. He's still well and truly in the slipstream. So that's pulled the gap of 1.3 seconds to Bavona, but Bavona will hold on to the fastest lap at swing stand. Don't forget, though, the fastest lap points are still valid even if you don't actually score points. So if someone takes them away from Bavona, that person will get points. But anyway, here goes Hento Cernome. Second time's the charm. Can get Aaron Curtis into third one. The Brno race winner from last season beats the champion from last season for position there.
Those 2 points for the fastest lap are very crucial, especially in the ending stages of the championship. Those 2 points that you get for the fastest lap could be very crucial. If
Absolutely
you're in the
right. And don't forget the lane last season, Rahul Patel lost the title to Aaron Curtis by just 3 points. As Aaron Curtis' teammate Rose Hansen is going for the move on this Graf once again around the outside, and once again Graf defended. She can't overtake. And look at Luca Farina. He's right there with them. With those two guys, he's with the guy and girl, of course, I meant. Luca Farina is right there, 8 tenths behind, and this is a freeway fight for P9. Oskin is getting away.
Driver that has been outstanding today has to be Rose. She has drove absolutely amazing. this race, moving up 11 places.
Yeah,
And
absolutely
it
right.
could be more. Defo were in contention for driver of the day, I must say.
Yeah, indeed. But this race, I know we're gonna see how it develops. And look at Farina. He's a solid drive as well. Don't forget about him. He's gonna try to overtake both these people. But let's see. Dennis
The
Graf doing
RT
great
driver.
work defensively. In towards
RT
turn
versus
15.
Trident.
3 laps to go for a race leader just for Exuto. In towards turn 16, can Hansen do the move Sonome made? No, because Graf doesn't lock up. But both of them have had a compromised exit. Luca Farina will be gaining a lot here on the traction zone. This is going
Oh,
for the inside, not a good idea.
very close.
Here comes Luca Farina with the power. Can their Grand Prix man get past Rose Hansen, get himself into the points? Looking like a tall order considering Hansen also has slipstream. Looks like she might actually try to go for the move. Will Graf defend the inside? No, he won't. I think Hansen has just about got it done. It's all contest of late braking here. Can she make the move stick? Yes, she can. Graf drops down to P10. Luca Farina will be next to Pounce.
The ART driver will be looking to get past Dennis Graf now for P10, the final points position. Depending on if Dennis can hold on, but here we go. Farina.
He's going for the inside. Yes, it's going to be incredibly bold, but he backs out.
Backs out, thinks better of it. He wants to wait. He wants to wait to the long straight. That's where the most overtakes have been happening in this race. And here we go. Gabriel Rico.
Attacking Benz Wallinger. Don't forget Benz Wallinger. He was very encouraged for position. Gabriel Rico took damage. So Rico's comeback is very impressive. If he takes that P12, it'll be, even though he gets no points, it'll be very well deserved. As we're about to enter lap 30 of our race leader. Meanwhile, Ruslan Protsiuk is 5 seconds behind Vona. Just a minute ago, he was 6 seconds down. Ruslan Protsiuk is making a late charge, but I don't think he's going to catch him in time.
Protsiuk has had a very quiet race in P3, I must say. A lot of drivers have actually had a quiet race.
Third in the championship last season. Looks like he'll be third in the championship after this race as well. 2 laps to go, meanwhile.
Continues. 2 laps.
Yeah, I guess so. Meanwhile, Jafari Blackwood was able to actually pull away from Gabo Contino, so he's found some more pace on this stint.
Gonna gain 4 temps this lap on Suto.
Alright then. Meanwhile, Luca Farina is going for the outside here on Dennis Graf. But he's gonna get back in the slipstream. Will it be close enough to make the move work? I'm not so sure. Well, we're also watching this battle between Gabriel Rico and Benz Wallinger. And Rico, what a shame for him. If he got his first points today, I'd have been so happy because this drive was incredible. But even with bad luck, this is an amazing performance. Here he goes overtaking Benz Wallinger. He doesn't even need to go to the left, he goes to the right and gets him comfortably way before the braking zone. Wallinger is actually going to try to fight back, but tucks back in the slipstream. He knows he can't fight this. And Gabriel Rico is up in 12th place. What an incredible fight back he's having. Meanwhile, Farina, I think he might be fighting Graf to checkered flag, honestly, for last point.
Yeah, this will be close. But talking about Gabriel Rico, even though he's not had the best of races, I think it's definitely a driver to look for in the future races.
Yeah, absolutely right there, Lane.
Meanwhile, I just see what he can do.
By the way, fun fact: Aaron Curtis, the reigning champion, has actually never won a race in any series.
He's a champion.
Yeah, but he never won a race. But still, he is a champion.
Key, my friend. Consistency is key.
Absolutely right. He beat Rahul Patel by 3 points. Those 3 points came after Kyle Burns' brilliant defensive drive on Laguna Seca, keeping him at bay for 20 laps, all the way to the checkered flag against the hard-charging Rahul Patel. As Kyle Burns' teammate from last season, just for Suto, in the Churus has started the final lap of this race. We're still on board with Luca Farina, who will finish 10th, who will finish 11th. Gabriel Rico is 15 seconds down these guys. I don't want these guys to crash, but if they crash, Rico will take points. I'm not trying to be biased, because I don't want either of these guys to retire.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit biased.
Anyway, no, I like both these guys. I'm friends with both Graf and Farina outside of this. Yeah, let's see if Farina can get the move done onto the pit straight here now.
Maybe
Protsiuk is actually just 3.5 seconds behind Dovona. Give him another 3 laps and he would have caught him. But nevertheless, here goes Luca Farina. And that, my friends, is P10.
Good drive from Farina, I must say. Great drive.
Indeed,
From the
Hansen
RT
pulled
driver.
away. Meanwhile, Oskin is just 1.6 behind Curtis, but I don't think he's getting enough on him to actually challenge him by the flag. Adam Chop, meanwhile, under pressure from Tobias Kress, as Swamingun is now P17. And just for Exuto, last season was mixed for him. He wanted Portimao with a very, very dominating drive. He put like 20 seconds on everybody. But after that, his season had completely faded. His only highlight was P2 on the front row in Brno, but he didn't get points in Brno. His season after Portimao was his last season, but this season he'll be starting out the right track. He won in Portimao last season, and this time he will be the championship leader after round 1. GP2 has ended, and last season of GP2 wasn't so good for Suto, but Formula 2 is going to start in the absolute perfect way, as Joseph Suto wins at Baku.
Drive from Suto there to win the race. It might not be the most dominant drive, but it was definitely dominant in that second stint. Performance
Bavona
drive.
finishes second, just 2 seconds in front of Paratsiuk. 2 more laps and he could have had him. Jafari Blackwood holds on to take P4 on his debut. Very solid performance from the Jamaican driver. Gabriel Quintino will take another P5 finish. He'll be very happy with that on his move to an Ivertuosi. Hento Sonome will take P6. A very solid performance for the Carlin man. Aaron Curtis, the reigning champion, starts his style defense with P7. Samet Oskan takes P8. Rose Hansen, 12 places gained. She's had a brilliant drive. Take P9. Luca Farini takes last point in P10. His graph is P11. He missed out on the points. As Gabriel Rico, what a shame. He would have absolutely gotten points if he was involved for no fault of his own in that carnage at turn 6.
100%.
But he finishes P12. And my driver of the day, honestly. Job China finishes P14. As Adam Chobot, not a good day for him. He'll just about hold off to be as Crest, take P15. No points for that either way. But his compatriot will have won the race. Armin Green finishes P17 after hitting the back of Martins' car and taking damage for no fault of his own. And Watzel, well, finishing last, involved in chaos on lap 1, and you never heard of him since. So yeah, he'll be finishing last. And that is the end of this race. Just for Suto is a 2-time race winner, and most importantly, the former Formula E runner-up is the first ever Formula 2 winner. What a great drive that was. He came out of the pits, like what, 6 or 7 seconds behind Agatino Bivona. He closed the gap down, and he put another 4 or 5 seconds on him for good measure. What a fantastic drive, what a fantastic second stint. He was still in the first stint to keep up. In the second stint, just for Suto has done what it takes to win this race. What a brilliant finish. And now we're going to take you through the full race results. I'm going to do the first half, you do the second half, alright? Here we go then. Just for Suto wins, not by 4 or 5, by just under 8 seconds. Magatino Bivona in second. 1 point apart in the championship, don't forget. Ruslan Protsiuk is in third place, just 2 seconds down on Bivona. He had a quiet race, but he pushed really hard. Can't quite get him in the end. Protsiuk, he fought quite hard. Jafari Blackwood was off the pace in the first stint, but second stint was able to pull off from Gabriel Quintino. They finished P4 and P5 respectively. And Tosonoe, very respectable drive, he takes P6 in front of Aaron Curtis. Samuel Oskan on his debut takes P8. He'll be happy with that with Rose Hansen. The biggest gainer in this race, she goes from 21st all the way up to 9th. Next up is Luca Farina, who takes the last point spot, and then his graph is on the points on the last lap being overtaken by Farina. Half you do. We're waiting on you.
There we go.
Just give us a second, guys.
There we go.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Gabriel Rico comes home in P12. Definitely won for contention for driver of the day after picking up that early damage from no fault of his own. Benz Valdinger comes home in P13 after not the best of drives after struggling in the second stint. Pong Chanuk comes home in P14. The damage driver will not be happy with that drive. Adam Chobot comes home in P15 for VAR. Tobias Kresh comes home in P16. Juan comes home in P17. Henry Watzel comes home in last. And
you can just call him Min, by the way.
Martins comes home P19 after not finishing. Blake did not finish with an oil leak. Daniel,
It's a shame it could have been on for the podium, perhaps.
yeah, and obviously Alexander Arnold comes home P22 after not making turn one, unfortunately.
Yeah. Next up, we're going to check the fastest lap. I doubt we need to, but we need to just in case. And Agatino Bevona has taken by just 800 of a second in front of just for Suto. That means Suto is on 25 points, Bevona is on 24 points. Gabriel Rico had incredible pace for its fastest lap there. And yeah, obviously, Arnold didn't get the fastest lap because he retired on the first lap. And Darbosch, he retired on lap 2, I think. So his fast lap was quite slow. But that has been it for now because you thought we were done. No, we're not done. Next up, we're going to mute ourselves, and it's time to celebrate the race winner just for Exuto with the Slovakian national anthem.
Ich wurde frei geboren.
All right. All right. Thank you guys for listening to Slovakian national anthem with us. Driver of the day, but before you answer, I'm going to give my vote to Gabriel Rico. I think he did an incredible job fighting back after all that damage. He didn't get any points. You're still on mute. I'm still here. Yeah, Leighton is on mute. Yeah, because I wasn't talking for Leighton. Yeah. So, Leighton, who is your driver of the day? If we can't hear you right now, Leighton, if you don't get it sorted, you can just type it in the chat. In the meantime, Flo, who is your vote for driver of the day?
For me, I think it's Rico, even though he had the damage. I think he has made a really good comeback after it. And he was third on the fastest lap chart, so that proves that he, even though he got a damaged car and got the damage fixed after the stop, he proved himself to be a points contender in this race. I think he could have been in a really good position if he didn't crash into the tire.
Yeah, that's very much true. Meanwhile, Leighton told us that he can actually hear us, and we can't hear him. I will request today's driver of the day. Give that opinion. It's all right. You're entitled to that. But thank you very much, guys, for tuning in today. I apologize for the delay at the beginning. but the delay was worth it because we got to do this amazing race. And thank you very much for tuning in today. Thank you very much, Flo. And thank you very much, Leighton. I hope you enjoyed your commentary debut. If you can hear me say that, that's great. If you, I'm just going to type it to you. But wow, we had 32 people watching. That's a lot. Thank you very much, each and every one of you, for coming here today. And we'll see you again next time, same time next week, for round 2 at Hockenheim. But until then, that's been it for myself and Leighton and Flo. I'm not sure Leighton can. I'm not sure you guys can hear Leighton. But nevertheless, thank you very much, guys, for tuning in. To the next one. Take care.